a real friend knows how to be a slave and a servant in a split second. If you have a friend that won't serve you or slave their life for you, it doesn't mean they're not a friend, they're just not the kind that you want to live life with. I don't mean that in a bad, don't misunderstand me, just work with me on that. Kind of harsh example, but I hope you understand. Because a good friend knows how to slave themselves and be a servant in a moment's notice. There's people in my life that if something goes down with them, everything stops in my life and I go. It's like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I show up and I'm like, what are you doing here? I know you're so busy. I know, but it's a no-brainer. Like, there is no other option right now. That's the genuine friend right there. And that's what happens when you're in relationship with God on that capacity. When you delight in the Lord, your desires, your will is actually permissible. And for some of us, we're still a slave and we're trying to figure out right and wrong. Sometimes it's not a right and wrong decision. You see, in the kingdom, the light is green until it turns red. The light is actually green. And for a lot of us, the light is always red. 30 years go by, it's still red. Somebody tell the guy who set these light up it's not working. Oh, everybody else has got a green light except me. No, it's probably something wrong with your perspective. See, in the kingdom, when you're actually delighting in the Lord and you're in this beautiful relationship, the light's green. And when it's red, you know it's red. It's like, oh, that's red, stop. How do you know if you're a friend of God? Well, one indicator is you're friendly to all. You're actually friendly. Seriously, I mean, have you ever met a highly gifted person that's not friendly? Yeah, it's not fun at all. Have you ever met a prophet that has a slave mentality? Have you ever met an evangelist that's just a servant? What you should meet in an evangelist that's a friend of God. That's a whole nother conversation. See, these filters, these lenses help us to realize, these perspectives help us to realize where we kind of are. And my challenge to you is learn how to be a slave, learn how to be a servant, but being a friend is really what it's all about. So when God said, I will honor whatever decision you make, Candace and I kind of flipped. We didn't know what to do with that. We're like, what do you mean, whatever decision? What if it's the wrong one? We begin to realize there is no wrong decision. So we chose Weaverville, which honestly was not my top choice. Something in me said, do it, but 90% of me said, what are you doing? But my wife was happy, so that was obviously good. It took me 2.5 to 3 years to actually like the decision I made. What made matters worse, the prophet told me, a well-respected one said, you'll be there for 24 months, for 2 years, and then God will move you on to the next thing. And I'm like, okay, 2 years, I can totally do that. Because I didn't want to. Like, 2 years, that's quick, that's easy, I can do that. So around 2 years, guess what started happening? Opportunities, more opportunities. Like the wave of, like, do this. I'm like, oh, the Lord's speaking, it's time to go. And my wife's like, it's not time to go at all. I'm like, you know what? The word of the Lord says 2 years. Get behind me. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. The joke. The 2 years. And I was like, I'm ready to push the eject button. I did my time. That was honestly where I was at. And somehow in the midst of it, I said, we're not supposed to go. I don't like the fact that I'm saying that. So we stayed. I can't tell you what happened after that. Something shifted in my heart, and we spent about 4 more years there, and those years were priceless.